Hello, welcome. Laura holding you guys captive over in the other meeting room. I'm muted. I don't think I'm muted. Can anyone else hear me? Okay. So I'm here for questions. I've got nothing to cover. I did post the Google Classroom assignments with the links to GitHub. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to take a look at those. But other than that, I will just be here hanging unless anyone has questions for me.
I had a quick question, if you don't mind, Max. The nested arrays, we were talking about how it's okay to reuse the keys like name in the different levels of the arrays, but is that considered good practice?
Yeah.
To still do that?
Yeah, it normally is because something like when we start getting into the database, we will have things where it is natural to have the student's name and the teacher's name and the school's name, right? So it is natural to reuse that key over and over again. And not only is it good to reuse that key over and over again, but when you're accessing several levels deep, it's nice to not have to go, oh, wait, is this the teacher's name or the student's name? You just call dot name and you're always going to get it. So I wouldn't go as far as calling it best practice, but I also wouldn't say it's the opposite. It is a standard practice, not necessarily a best practice. Welcome to those who are joining us. Yeah, Latonia, no problem. I can go over the homework. So let me share my screen. So the good news is the homework isn't anything new. It's basically just catching up to what we did in class. So I'm gonna pop this open and I can share this. Sorry, looking at food. So Classroom, Google Classroom, if you go to classwork up at the top and click on module 4 or just scroll down to module 4, there are two assignments here. One is the school assignment, and it's basically to create a object that looks an array with objects that look something like this. So just get data several levels down deep. The way you want to think about that is what makes sense to nest further and further down, right? So this is a relationship where it makes sense, right? We have schools up at the top, schools have teachers, teachers have students. One common thing that you'll see is like, oh, there are car manufacturers and they make cars and those cars have parts, right? So whatever makes sense to nest down, that's completely fine. But you want to have some kind of nested loop where you are now not only digging into the schools, but you're digging into the teachers and then you're digging into the students. So the goal of the homework here is to do something like this nested loop where you have an array inside of an array that you are looping over. So I went down to the teacher's level by hand and then looped over the students in there. You don't even have to get that complicated. If you wanted your outer for loop to be over the schools, and then your inner for loop to be over the teachers, that is completely fine as well. So the goal of the assignment is threefold. One is to practice typing out your arrays. So something like a list. Practice typing out your objects. practice with your keys and your strings and your values and all of that stuff. So that's objective 1. Objective 2 is to practice accessing different parts of the data. So something like we're doing here, where we're going into the array and then grabbing the students and going into that array and grabbing out their grade. And then the third goal of the assignment is to use a for loop and to kind of get your head around how that for loop is happening. What's the inner loop doing? What's the outer loop doing? So whatever you turn in on this is fine, as long as you turn in something. Just try and get a data structure working with objects and arrays all kind of nested within each other. And then try your for loops, and then also accessing individual parts of the data. So that's assignment 31, I believe. And then assignment 30 is the to-do list app. So the example code is here in GitHub. It's also in Slack. But the goal is to get your CRUD operations working in your to-do list, right? So create, read, update, delete. And if you can get those working, that's great. Extra credit if you get them styled and using Bootstrap and all of that stuff. But we really use these as a good way to detect how you're doing, if you're keeping up in class and all of that kind of stuff. So if you turn in something, even if it's not working, even if you're getting errors, that is going to be better than nothing. And then on top of that, Dana threw something out in our weekly meeting where you guys were asking questions in Google Classroom, but teachers aren't getting the alerts to answer them. So if you have a question that you're like stuck on the assignment, or you want a quick answer to, like, why am I getting this error? Post those in Slack. But if you have some note of like, oh, I'm turning in this assignment and I got stuck here, and when you get a chance, if you could answer this question for me when you're grading the assignment, those are fine to put in Google Classroom. We just might not get back to you until Monday or Tuesday of next week when we grade all of those assignments.
So I'm having problems with for loops. I've gotten the ones that you were doing, the for of loops, to work successfully, but I was also trying to do them the old-fashioned way, and they weren't working at all that way. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. I was having problems both in the I kind of went back from scratch and started coding along with the big project, the to-do list, and then also in the nested arrays project.
Sure. You want to share your screen?
Sure. So I got them working this way, and then the alternative form, I thought I typed exactly what you had. And it makes sense to me. It just doesn't seem to be working. I get not a number.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Let's go back. I think you did your for loop exactly fine. Let's go up to our to-do list. And our to-do list is technically empty there. Okay, but if we go... Oh, no, you are adding it as a string. Let's go to your... back to Chrome, or back to your browser, wherever you have it open.
Yep.
And refresh, and then type something in and add it. Okay, let's go back to your code. Okay, get element by ID, HTML to update. All of that looks good. So let's scroll down. And you've got your to-do task index. And while the index is less than the length of the array, add 1 to the index. And then in your to-do list, grab it. Okay, so I think the issue is upstream. So let's go up to your add new task. And let's console log out the new task form field after line 7.
Console log it here.
Yep.
I'm going to go down to the next line.
Yeah. And then while you're in there, in addition to new task form field, put a comma after that and
Okay.
type in to-do list.
Okay.
And so console log you can just separate with commas and it will console log out however many values you put in there. So let's save that.
Yep.
And
Save.
go back and refresh and then type in your ABC and add. Okay, so we got access to the input and we confirmed that it is even adding ABC to your list. Now I'm confused. Well, I've been confused. Let's go back to your code. So your to-do list is getting updated properly. Let's go back down to your form.
Form. Okay.
I'm sorry, your for loop. And let's console log out your to-do list inside the for loop.
Okay. So here or above?
Above, doesn't matter.
So. And what, the to-do list, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then let's run that code. Yeah. Okay, so you have ABC on line 29. Okay, let's go back. Karen, am I blind here?
And it's working here. I had commented this out and done this one, and this one's working fine. I just wanted to understand both ways because this actually, like, this makes more sense to me in English, but this shows more what the computer is actually doing. And I appreciate that, you know, exercise of showing what's behind this.
Yeah, in that console log, throw your to-do task index after your to-do list.
Here?
Yeah, just a comma and then yeah.
Yeah. And then do it again.
Yep. I'm so confused. All right, one last thing we can try. Go back to your VS Code and copy that to-do list, to-do task index that you have on line 28. So what's inside the curly braces?
Okay.
Just copy that and put that in your console log.
Wait. Oh, never mind. Sorry, I didn't see the other one. I didn't see the other where it says to-do list. I didn't see the other bracket.
Oh, because I was highlighting it. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, only one is in brackets because it's supposed to be the index. For
Yep. No, everything looks right.
Yeah.
Copy that and put
this?
that in your console log.
Instead of these?
It
on?
doesn't matter. Either is fine.
Let's see, and now I'm going back to Chrome.
What the actual? Can you just copy and paste your code to me in Slack?
Yeah. Sorry for all the comments. I was trying to like literally take notes on everything.
Nope.
No,
that's okay.
it's good. I just there's something. Computers always do what you tell them to do, frustratingly so. And so there are times that like you just don't get it for some reason on a screen share, but when you're looking at it separately, it clicks. And I'm guessing that this is one of those stupid like.
Well, the thing is that I don't think there's that much wrong. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have done that as a. So it's the actual code pasted away. There we go. I don't think it's too much of a problem upstream because the other version of the loop is working, the one that you did in class. Like I can comment this out. And then oh, wait a minute. Now I've done other things to it as well. It was working. Have I commented too much stuff out? I can just undo.
Can you switch to your HTML really quickly?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think, no, that's all fine.
Okay. Just trying to get back to where the other, let's see. Am I going back too far? Now you can't tell how far back I've gone.
Let me go back to your HTML one more time.
Okay. Wait. No, that should be in there. Okay. Trying to get back to where it was working before on the top loop.
Oh, that's all right. Oh, son of a. Go to your script.
This one?
Yep. Scroll down to your
This is what you had me put in, right?
yeah, that's
To take
fine.
this out. Okay, I want to get back to exactly where I was.
Go to your update HTML. Scroll down a little bit. Equals plus does something really stupid. Plus equals works perfectly fine.
Oh, okay. Hopefully that's what it was. Yes. Thank
Like,
you.
what the hell is going on? Not a number. Like, how are you getting not a number there?
I wonder if that's what I've done on my other ones. That wasn't doing not a number though. This one just wasn't printing out. I don't mean to take the whole time if somebody else has a question either.
Yeah, so you want to print out grade level there, not grade levels, because you're looping over each individual one. And so
Okay.
instead of printing out the array, but let's go up to your array and let me confirm that. So
I changed it so it made a little more sense to me. I put them all in the same school in different grades.
That's fine. Yeah. So what's going to console log out there is 9th grade and the teachers and all of the sub information, and then 10th grade,
Yeah, I
11th
was
grade,
just trying to
12th
get
grade.
a basic loop working because they weren't working.
Yep. So if you save that,
I think this was working actually. This one works. This is the one that doesn't work.
okay, go ahead and comment
Let's
the.
save that, and then let's see. I want to open it here.
Yep.
And then wait a minute.
It's probably node space school.js.
Right. So
Yep.
that one works.
So go ahead and comment that out and comment your one back in that doesn't. Okay, and what we're gonna do is the let grade
This
level
one-
is
okay.
always going to be like, I would call that let grade level index.
Okay. Here?
Yep. And then that is always going to equal 0. So the
Right, but
grade
it's
levels.
supposed to be.
So we're gonna replicate what the working one did. So
Okay.
let grade level index should just be equal to 0.
Okay.
And then while grade level index.
Oops, I'm trying to copy that.
Yep. And then is less than is don't do your equals there, just do a less than.
Okay.
And then grade level index plus plus.
This is okay, right? The
That's
link?
good. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
But
and
that
then
you want to change to add in the word
can't
index.
see the side. Oh, wait, we can move our pictures, can't we? There we go.
Okay,
Okay.
and now in your console log, you are going to do grade levels with an S and then put in your square brackets
Okay, this is where I put the brackets. Okay.
and then grade level index.
Okay. Oh, now it's giving it to me. There.
And save it and run it, and let's see what we get.
Does that one work? Yes, it works.
Beautiful.
this time. Okay. All right, thank you.
No problem.
I can use this one as a model for the other ones now. Good, thanks.
Happy to help. Who's up next? See you in a couple, Ariel.
Hey Max, I'll jump in here.
Sure.
This is Latonia. I sent a message in Slack. Slack hates me. It doesn't show me like responses and stuff. So if you responded, I apologize. But one of my questions.
No, it's me who owes you the apology because I forgot to answer.
Oh, you're fine. This is a different question though. This is a newer question.
Okay. Do you
This
still?
is about the order of the to-dos in the list. Should they be loading from the bottom? And should they not be replacing the item 1, item 2?
No, they will replace the item 1, item 2. They should not be loading from the. When you add something, it should add it to the bottom of the list, not the top of the list.
Okay, so then that's correct. But they should, when we first, like after we hit the third item, that's when it should load at the bottom. It shouldn't just automatically be starting at the bottom, right?
So it may be, depending on how far you have it coded out and where you have your dummy data. If your dummy data is in the HTML and then you add a new task, it will clear out whatever is in the HTML and it will just be the task that you have added.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I did not do that because that's not the result I'm getting. Okay, so I already submitted my homework, but
if you want to share your screen, I'm happy to work through it with you.
okay, let me just open it back up. Hold on. Did you want to see it first to do?
Yeah.
Hold it down. You. I'm sorry. I would have been prepared if I knew.
Oh, you're fine.
You and then who was that? Script HTML. Okay. Okay. Can you see that okay?
Yep.
That's a bunch of stuff on my screen. So when I go in, I do like up here. That might be spelled wrong. So you see how it goes down here?
Yep. That's expected.
Okay.
We could make it appear up at the top. But we would use, instead of dot push, which always adds to the end, you would use, that's a Google question.
Is it shift?
It's shift.
Shift?
Yeah, I think it's
yeah,
shift.
that sounds right.
Okay.
So you would you would change out your push for a shift and then it would throw it up at the top.
Now, so would that replace this then? Or is it just going to add another one up to the top and push this down?
It's going to do the latter.
Okay. Okay. So that's fine. I just wasn't sure if I had done something wrong and it was supposed to replace these, but you know, sometimes you go to sites and they just leave the dummy stuff in there. So that's why I wasn't sure.
Nope, you did everything right. And the fact that it is holding the dummy data after you add the to-do item means that you have it over in your JavaScript array instead of dummy data in your HTML, which is, JavaScript is usually the better place to put your dummy data.
Okay. All right, then that's fine. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you for sharing. Looks great.
Thanks.
Other questions?
Hey, Max,
Yes.
when there's a moment, could you hypothetically go over the same thing you already went over in Slack for me today that I can't grasp about undefined? I know what you did. I've seen what I apologize, it's really loud here. I've seen what you've done. Like we went through it all yesterday. I'm not grasping my issue. Like I'm aware it's what it is. I'm not understanding it. Is that something either I can meet with you later or we can do now?
Yes, I vaguely remember what I said to you. I am just trying to find it in Slack.
It sounded a lot like it was undefined and I screwed up my curly and my square brackets and also menu, not dish, if that makes sense. Like I
Yeah.
was using the wrong one to call on.
So can you send me copy and paste your menu object to me?
Just the whole thing is the whole, that sounded like you said the whole thing to me, but all right. Yeah.
The menu object?
Just the menu object though.
Yes. And I'll back into other things from there.
Okay. Well, that's not all right. Yeah, let me send. Where do you want that, in Slack or here?
Slack's usually a little easier, but it's either one, doesn't matter.
Okay. I apologize. I'm normally not on the MacBook, so I'm sliding around everywhere here.
You're good.
Oh, now your message for picking random parts comes up, but I posted that regularly in there how I had copied it because for some reason I can't get it to actually do the code block for me.
That is fine. The code block, you do 3 backticks and then you paste your code and then you do 3 more backticks.
Okay.
So let me. Share. Okay, so here's your menu object. This is all structured very well. So you're spot on of when you need an object, when you need the array, you know, how you would structure this data, all of that is good. So I'm going to open this in the integrated terminal and I'll just like console log out our menu to prove that, you know, it's working. Wait forever for my terminal to open. And then I go node and run it and we get your object coming out. Okay, so you were trying to access, if I remember correctly, Linguini? Does that sound right?
I mean, I have the rest of it. I was trying to do it like we did in class. Instead of getting averages, I was trying to get it so that I could get, like I put students because that's how we had done it in class. I could get a noodle and a meat, so I could make different combinations based off that sauce area.
Gotcha. Okay, so if
That
we're
not
trying to like get down to Linguini, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with menu and I'm going to look and I'm going to see menu as an array. So whenever I see the array, I go, all right, it needs an index. So I'm going to use index 0, which is then going to get me this whole thing. So now I go, all right, now I'm in here. It's an object. So I'm going to use a dot notation. What do I want out of this? I don't want the name. I want the dish. So I am going to say dot dish. And before I get too far ahead of myself, I'm going to run it and I'm going to see, all right, now I am here. I've got an array and I've got 2 objects in that array, right? And that's what we're seeing here. So I'm saying, all right, I want to get to this one. So that's going to like reset our index, right? Whenever we go another level deeper, we aren't going to be like, oh, this resets to index 0 and this resets to index 1. So I'm going to then say dish and I'm going to say 0. And so again, dish 0. And we're going to, console log is our friend. So we're just going to run it again. And we have now limited it down to Alfredo here. So
That
now
is, sorry, that is perfect. That is where I was getting caught because I wasn't calling each one on there, like each in the array. So I was doing the index, but I wasn't doing it for menu as well to begin with. So that's what, so you're calling each, like if you're going through a folder, it's subcategory. If you're going through A, B, and C, it's A number 1, A-1-2. So like, okay, that's where I was caught. So thank you.
Yep. So if you wanted marinara here, that's when you would change this to a 1, and then you would get your marinara out. And then the same here, you know, oh, if I want to get to my rigatoni, I'm gonna do dot students and then my rigatoni and then my noodle. That sounded so wrong.
Yeah,
Noodle.
I did when I've done this 3 times now. So every time I'm like, something's not right. So I went back to the original code and tried to switch my stuff in where that was. Maybe I like formatted it easier. But yeah, I miss students. So now when I do like the meat part of it,
Yep.
again, I apologize. When I do the meat part of it, so I'm not doing that as, I'm doing it as a separate thing. I'm not doing it as like an index of 3 or 4.
Correct. That would be 0 or 1. So this is 0, this is 1. This is 0, this is 1.
Okay,
Oh.
that's perfect. I'm all set now. Thank you so much.
Yep. When I say 0 or 1, I mean this whole thing is actually 1, and then you would call dot meat once you got that. Yep, per line, you got it. Okay. Other questions?
Hey, Max, this is a separate thing that we're gonna have to work on together. I was just doing some more troubleshooting. The not being able to do lowercase e in Visual Studio Code is not fixed. So
Yeah.
not, I'm finding it's something, it's a key and a chord and I must have hit a certain key combination that clicked it on, because all the other letters are fine and they're fine in all other apps. So anyway, but I know we gotta deal with the homework stuff first. So, but I just wanted to throw it out there. I don't expect to stop and do that right now. I'm trying to figure it out, actually.
Um,
I can't do the homework if I.
Does anyone else have a question? Because I'm just curious to see what's happening here.
I have a question eventually, but I want to let other people go first because I already took a chunk of
Carlin,
time.
do you mind screen sharing? I'm wondering if I can just see something right off the bat. If it's if
Not,
it takes
not at all. It's not specific to the topic of, the homework and stuff. So if other people had those questions, I didn't want to, but
just
yeah.
share your screen for a minute.
right.
I'll give you the boot if it's going to take too long to fix. But
All right, so let me get all these things out of my way. I have these Facebook controllers and these. All right, so I was just looking up in, hold on. Now I can't find what I'm looking for because it's covering it. All right. Way. These Facebook things are in the way. So anyway, I was just trying to test it. So like if I just wanted to do lowercase e and this, it doesn't work there. Uppercase e. Oh,
the escape key,
huh?
hit the escape key on your keyboard in the top left.
Yeah, I've been trying that. I've been reading up on the different combinations and it doesn't seem to do it. And so I thought prettier was the culprit.
I don't think so. No,
No. And then I discovered I had it like in a couple parts. So prettier's gone, but I'm still having the E issue in Visual Studio. And that's the only
Press
place.
it one more time for me.
The escape?
The E key, lowercase e.
Just the lowercase e, right?
Yep. So in the bottom right, it says waiting for second key of chord.
Yes, and I just looked that up in on Chrome in the Stack Overflow. I was just starting to read about it.
So try Control E.
All right. These some things don't want to go away. All right. So Control E. And that's lowercase, right?
Yep. And then type a lowercase e.
And it's not the keyboard. The keyboard's fine. It's some. Some key is there a way?
Okay, go to settings, preferences, and then settings. Yep. And then type in allow space and then chord CHO and then uncheck that.
Oh, where did that come from?
No idea. I've never seen anything like this before. If you go back to index.html
Of course not, Max.
And-
It's me.
and then just type a lowercase e.
Matt?
Okay, screw this. Quit VS Code and reopen it.
Pump the brakes, kick the tires. Here we go. And I just made a dummy file just to,
Yeah.
nope. I know what my career is going to be. It's going to be breaking stuff. They need people to try to break things. God, I don't need this crap.
Did you install?
I installed Prettier,
Go over to your extensions
but it
on the
shouldn't be there
left.
anymore. What's that? Go to, sorry.
Let's go up to code up at the top and preferences, and then we're gonna go to key maps.
Oh, okay. Whoops, that's where it is. Oh, stop it. Oh, I was wondering, I knew there was there somewhere.
That's not what I was expecting. Go back up to the same menu, code up at the top, and preferences, and then try keyboard shortcuts instead. And just try and type in the letter E, hopefully.
It goes, it gives me a pop sound.
Can you just like scroll through that list and see if we see a key binding with just the letter E?
Would it say key binding?
No, in the second
Okay,
column.
it's a column. I'm sorry.
Yep,
So
you're
there
good.
wouldn't be any other, it would just have E or E in it somewhere.
Just the letter E is all we're looking for.
I'll make this bigger. No, okay, yes, I can. Well, there's an uppercase, but that's not just. Oh, for crying out loud.
I am just so confused.
Gus said I have gremlins in my computer and it's like a Dr. and Jekyll and Mr. Hyde personality that at night comes out and does stuff when I'm sleeping.
There's definitely a gremlin.
Are you looking for a
It's-
lowercase e or uppercase?
Lower,
Either one, but that
I saw the uppercase in there.
but it had an R with it.
No,
yeah,
I saw one that just had the command
No,
key.
it doesn't have command or anything, right?
yeah,
Oh,
it's
you would want
just
it
gonna
all-
be the letter
Just
E, I
E,
believe.
yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Susan. I appreciate that.
Oh, you know what? There may be a faster way here.
It's gotta be. We'll write a function.
No, that's not it either.
Jesus Christ. Sorry. Yeah, I've arrived at programmer or whatever because I'm swearing. Okay. So
Okay,
this
here,
key map
let's,
is only within Visual Studio Code that I'm looking at, correct?
correct. Up at the
Right.
top right, there's a little keyboard icon. Yeah, click that. Now type the letter E.
Oh, oh, man,
Just type E once.
that's what I'm trying to do, and it.
Just type the letter E. You don't have to worry about clearing it out.
Okay.
Okay, maybe you do. Click the little keyboard icon. And then click it again.
The icon.
Yep. And now type in E. Are you kidding me?
What?
Try.
Well, it did. It typed it. Oh, but something's supposed to show up.
All right. Close out of that. Click on your extensions over on the left.
Let me turn this up a little. There's some background noise in the kitchen. I can't hear you. Click on, what is it? What on the left? I couldn't hear
Just
you.
seeing. Yeah, give me a second.
Oh, I'm sorry. My husband's doing some dishes and it's couldn't hear.
Um. Okay, we are going to go down to the bottom right and click on the little gear.
Okay, I got to get all this Facebook crap or what are we in Zoom stuff out of the way here. All right, so stop it.
I'm sorry, I said bottom right. I meant bottom left. My bad. The gear over here. Just making you move things. Giving you a good Friday. And
Okay.
then click on command palette here.
Yeah, and I did that earlier.
Okay, and now type in key KEYB.
As in keyboard,
Oh,
KEYB.
well, yeah, let's see if it will work.
Okay,
What?
what?
That's not right. Try going to the gear again over here. And command palette. And then typing in K again. E, hopefully.
No,
Okay, delete it and go for B.
B as in boy,
Yep.
basic.
OARD as in board.
OARD, got it.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I'm
Okay.
having delayed hearing tonight. It's like.
All right, now hit enter on that.
Or return,
Okay, now go back to your index.
HTML file.
Yeah. And type the letter E. And then close out there.
Just the file.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Hit cancel that. The X down here.
I've got all these things from Zoom
Oh,
covering up stuff. So, oh, gotcha. All right.
And then grab your output here and drag it up.
You know what? I'm just gonna like close all the people. I don't need to see. All right, I'm sorry. And get these things are really in the way. So we're gonna
right
pull
there,
it up
just-
to make it bigger, right?
Yep.
Oops.
Resolving key E.
See, I can't see that because this keeps
Key
jumping
down, rendering, converted key event, resolving key E from one key binding entries, match chord. Match chord when no when condition, source user.
Yeah, I did something. I was going along and all of a sudden, boom. You want something broken? I'm your woman.
So it's supposed to say know when clauses match the context.
When, no, when clauses.
So let's go back up to code up at the top and go down to preferences and then back to keyboard shortcuts. And then we're gonna go up here to the top
I see. Oh, there we go.
and go down to show extension key bindings. And there's nothing there. All right, so go back up to those three dots that's at the top and go to user key bindings.
Oh, show user. Okay.
Aha!
It's me. I did something.
Click on that mother, I'm not gonna curse, but that mofo.
Just like this?
Yeah, try the edit sign.
I was good. What's okay.
Click out of that. Can you just hit the delete key?
On the
keyboard, the backspace button?
Yep.
No, try right clicking on it maybe.
On the on the edit symbol or the name?
On the command itself.
So okay.
And then yeah, try that again and then remove key binding. Try that again.
Yeah, I know. I'm having trouble between the fingers and the. Come on. Come on.
There you go. Okay, now go back to your index and type E to your heart's content. Okay. You definitely
No.
win the award for weirdest problem in office hours.
Is there a medal or like an old disk drive or something that I get?
That was definitely an odd one.
How did I do that?
I have no idea.
I've been wearing like this carpal tunnel brace and my pinky's been numb. So my pinky every so often is just like hitting things it shouldn't. I wonder if it like. Thank you. Now hopefully we'll be good. Did that help anyone else? I don't know. Thank you, Max. You're amazing. Thank you.
Kyle, did you have a question?
If nobody else does, I want to let other people have a chance because I took
Sure.
a good chunk of the beginning of the class.
Anyone else have questions? Okay, then Kyle, you're up.
Okay. So I don't know if it's helpful to share my screen, but maybe I'll do it anyway.
Sure.
Let's see. I have to go back to Zoom to do that. Okay, so I just have a question about this word event.
Yeah.
I'm still stuck on trying to understand that well. So I understand that we're kind of flagging this here and then like, let's see, where is it? I understand what you're doing here. You're putting event here so that you can, reference it here and then prevent the default browser refresh.
Yep.
But normally what we were doing before was whatever you put here when you call a function automatically it becomes event when it goes in there.
Correct.
So I'm wondering why this has to match, why this has to say event, because I tried changing it to something else and it doesn't work.
It has to match there because it's the browser that's putting the event in. And so it's a weird special word in the browser that event has to match there. However, it does not have to match in your JavaScript. So if you go to your JavaScript and called it EVT and then called EVT.preventDefault, that would work fine. This is like some special weird edge case that because it is the word event, the browser knows there that you actually want the event passed into JavaScript.
Okay.
I wouldn't worry too much about understanding that because
Okay.
React has a much cleaner way of making all of that work. It is a very good question. It's one that I do not know the answer to other than it is a special edge case in the browser.
Okay, that's fine. Thanks.
I will try and find,
I guess I was just trying to understand it within the bigger picture of how parameters work and stuff like that. So it's just a weird exception. I'll just think of it that way.
it's a weird exception, but only in HTML, right? So it's not
Okay.
even an exception in your JavaScript, which is why you can change the name of it in your JavaScript and still have it all work. So it is not anything special in JavaScript. It's just an object that you can call some functions on. In the HTML in the browser, it is just a weird thing.
But in the browser, it's only for event. If you were doing something else, you could still pass any parameter. Okay.
Correct. And what ends up happening is it ends up overwriting the event and giving you access to the parameters that you pass in. I would like to try and find some documentation to give you a further insight into that. I will see what I can find for you.
That's okay. You pretty much answered my question though. That's fine.
Yeah, you've got everything that you explained and the documentation that the comments you have added is up to my complete understanding of it all.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions for you guys? Well, now that's going to annoy the hell out of me because I can't even find the documentation that says you can access event in there.
Just thank you so much. And now maybe I can really start on the homework.
Also,
I'm really trying to absorb, digest all the stuff from this module. And it's like I just like behind myself but as I'm doing that, it's making sense and I'm making it my own, and that really helps a lot. But I'm behind on some things I want to get to also, and this issue was not helping. So thank you.
no problem.
And you're obviously on Slack and stuff as I'm working on the homework. If I'm a 15-minute rule, try it for 15 minutes, bang your head against the wall for 15.
You got it.
And ask for help. No. All right. Thank you.
All right. Doesn't look like there are any more questions. So if anything does come up, feel free to Slack me. Otherwise, I am looking forward to grading your homework assignments Monday or Tuesday. And then I am back next week for more torture of you guys.
I did have one other question.
Yeah.
Doing that 30-minute thing, we're still doing the weekly forms, it looks like.
We talked about it at the meeting, and I don't think that is a requirement anymore. I mean, we'll still read them. If you've got feedback to provide, definitely feel free to use it.
Because I saw them in Slack and I thought you were showing us what the different parts of this piece, does for their part of the evaluation. I thought we were supposed to still do that one.
You can if you want. I'm not going to stop you from doing it, but Jesse said in our meeting, literally at 5:30 tonight, like he posted that before we had our meeting. But at our meeting tonight, he was like, yeah, I'm fine with just going off the daily feedback forms as long as people are submitting them. And I think they're more valuable for the instructors. And because they're more valuable for the instructors, they have more impact on the students. So appreciate you guys filling them out, and we'll probably just keep up doing that instead of all the other forms.
And I appreciate like the way you formatted them had some kind of humor in it. I really appreciate that. Do we have a way of finding out kind of where we stand in terms of the instructors' thoughts about us?
Yeah, so you will have feedback feedback from me on Monday or Tuesday that will appear in Google Classroom. I'm going to try a new feedback style. And so hopefully I will have that up Monday or Tuesday. And if all goes well there, depending on where Gus is at, he may follow suit with that. But you'll definitely get grades on both your homework assignments and then just some general notes about all of you guys. I will provide feedback to you all individually in Google Classroom.
So
That
we're all
is
we're-
private, so other students
No,
won't
no.
be able to
We're
see
all going to
yours.
graduate though.
Yes, yes.
Oh, it's like.
All right, guys. Have a
Thank
great
you so
weekend.
much. Good night, everybody.
Latanya, yeah, you already did the quick forms that you've been filling out, so you're good to go. There's nothing additional you have to do.
Thank
See
you
you
so
guys.
much.